those who are behind me.
So now, the song has now changed.
I have a different song.
Why should they believe you now
but
that
that was not my song?
It's just a song that you
no,
changed.
It was
still
not
the
my
same,
song.
You're still the same chorus, and now you're the
that song was not mine. I was a member of the choir. Choir ilikuwa William Ruto. We were choir, we were members of the choir.
But this new song, have you now changed your mind?
I have said,
why should the people...
I have given you an analogy.
Why should the people believe a choir master or a chorus master who changes tune?
It's up to the people to believe.
It's like when they're asking you.
If they I don't know. They will listen to me. They will listen to me and decide.
You painted the Luo nation as a nation that is chaotic, violent.
I didn't.
In fact,
William Ruto did. It's not me.
It is not me. I'm the one who told you to say it.
No, I'm saying, Trevor, we were in politics. And,
are you still in politics now?
Yeah, we're in politics.
So why should they believe you?
I am saying we were having a contest between Raila Odinga and his people. And that was in politics with Raila Odinga. There is no presidential candidate from the Luo nation who is facing me. So there is no conflict. That was a contest. People are looking for positions. And there is a conflict as it goes on in politics. So they will be trading here and there. Why William Ruto now is abusing me, he was abusing Raila Odinga then because he was his competitor. It's Rigathi Gachagua. And so he has just changed tact. The way he was abusing Raila Odinga is the way he's abusing Rigathi Gachagua because I'm his competitor.
Do you regret this abusive language that you and your former boss have treated the nation at this conversation?
I did not start.
Did you describe the president as having
lost made that weight? Description. That description is true.
That is considered body shaming.
There is no apology to make. I described the way he looks. I did.
Chapter 6 of the Constitution and Integrity, Article 70, in a manner that bestows respect and dignity.
I'm not a state officer.
You've been the second in command.
I am not a state officer. I'm not a state officer.
So are you now allowed then to just abuse your other fellows just because you're not a current
state officer?
You've been the second in command. Do you regret the state?
I have no regret whatsoever for my utterances. I made a true description. In the truth, they are thieves. People who do this and that. They must be described for who they are. And if anybody has a problem, you can take me to court.
Do you believe that statement is demeaning?
No, it's not.
What do you think it is?
It's up to you to
think.
You think. I've told you
I'm not the one who made the statement.
I have nothing.
Was it demeaning?
I have nothing to say about it. I have said it's a true description of what I see.
What does the appearance of the president have to do with governance?
Well, you'll have to ask him why he is so agitated.
But I'm speaking to you. And you're the one who started this
You are the one to ask him why he's so agitated.
Tumekuuliza kwa sababu wewe ndio ulikuwa mtangulizi wa jambo kama hilo.
Are you a lawyer for the president?
This is
waandishi wa habari.
No. This is a question that everyone is asking.
I
command in this country. Honorable Rigathi Gachagua, you've been the second in command in this country. And you're now thinking of being the head of this country. Do you think those statements were regretful?
What I would ask you to, have you as a president, whether he has regret?
I'm speaking to you now, not to the president. We'll speak to the president at the right time.
Tumekuuliza kwa sababu tuko na wewe hapa na wewe ulikuwa mtangulizi wa hayo.
I don't think this interview you hold brief for President William Ruto.
We're not holding brief for
in my view.
We're asking you.
I had hoped that you would ask me issues.
Kuna maswala.
I refuse to.
Kuna maswala ya uongozi.
I refuse to have you have.
Kuna maswala ya uongozi na uadilifu.
Jinsi alivyosema katika chapter 6 ya katiba. That question I've answered.
Will you apologize to the people for what you did?
I have no apology to give to anybody.
Let me bring up a soundbite of what you said after this back and forth between yourself and the president. And you said that tumefikisha mahali tulikuwa tunataka. Let's play that soundbite.
Mimi nitaka wewe ukasirike. You lose your temper. You lose your cool. You stop being presidential. Sasa Kasongo amekuja bahari nilikuwa nataka yeye. Ameteremuka chini. He is no longer presidential. Amekuwa mtu ya propaganda na fitina.
Is the politics of insults?
Yes. He has been on insults all his life. He's been insulting Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, everybody. He has been trying to be something else, but I know him. I wanted him to come out in his true colors. That's where he is today. Abuse, pettiness, gossip, that's William Ruto. He is where I wanted him to be.
Do you believe that is also describing yourself? Because you're the one who started this conversation. And you've just said there that tumefikisha mahali tulikuwa tunataka.
I have said
is that the politics
I have told you,
and
he is where I wanted him.
Jinsi ulivyonena hapo awali, hii tabia yake ambayo unasema ni kutupa cheche za maneno makali, uligundua lini?
Nini?
Uligundua lini hii mambo ya natuliwa katika
tangu zamani, lakini nilikuwa nafikiria akipata kiti ya rais atabadilika. Usiyatusi Raila mwaka 9. Sasa amerudi tu pale alikuwa. Sasa ni kubadilisha tu from Raila to Rigathi Gachagua.
Wewe ukamtusi Uhuru Kenyatta ile enzi, hata Raila wakati mwingine ukamtusi. Tofauti yako kati na yeye iko wapi?
Nafikiri tuongee mambo ya maana ile tasaidia hii interview.
Kuna masuala ya uadilifu na
hiyo nimekataa. Kwa sababu sasa mnataka ikue hii interview ni mambo ya matusi. Mimi nimesema rais amekuwa akinitukana Nyanza for 5 days. Siwezi kuwa na interview kuendelea na mambo ya matusi ile rais anafanya Nyanza. Hiyo nimekataa.
So you don't regret this? Okay.
A situation that is true and everybody knows it is a true situation. I have no regrets whatsoever.
Okay. Let's talk about this broad-based arrangement. President William Ruto has been forging an alliance with the broad-based arrangement on ODM, which you strongly advised him against, telling them that they will regret working with him. What did you mean by that? Will regret working with him?
Well, I was in coalition with William Ruto, and the minute he became president, he turned against the people who elected him. I know him. So, I cannot tell the Luo nation what to do. But I can only give a word of caution that Raila Odinga, in his greatness, has one great legacy. He founded a strong political party. I'm on record publicly saying how I admire, when he was alive and when he's dead, I admire ODM party and the quality of leaders that came through ODM. I don't have a problem with him. It's on his deathbed. And we want a strong political party. Strong political parties are good for our democracy. When William Ruto decided to work with Raila Odinga was deputy, and I asked him, you had a lot of problems with this man. You told us this man is the cause of all Kenyan problems. You hated Uhuru Kenyatta with all your life and said so publicly for working with Raila. Having a problem with Uhuru Kenyatta for working with Raila Odinga, you now want to work with Raila Odinga. What has happened? And he told me, we were quite close. He confided into me that we cannot allow ODM to be. We must destroy ODM. So we must get nearer Raila Odinga, get nearer ODM and destroy it.
I think the president wanted to destroy ODM.
Yes, he told me.
But it is the same party he wants to work with.
He has destroyed ODM.
How?
ODM is a pale shadow of his former self. What will happen, and you tell me, this NDC that is scheduled for Friday, that is ODM's last supper, and I hear Ruto wants to attend. Let me be very candid with the ODM followers. That is Raila's legacy. Please don't allow William Ruto to destroy ODM. This before. The only way a region can protect its interests in a government is through a strong political party. My people from the mountain, we are in the terrible situation we are in without our own political party against us and can do whatever he wants. If ODM agrees to be swallowed by William Ruto, the people of that region will be at his mercy. And they'll come to cry the way we are crying. So it's up to them. And if they must, if they must stop him, if they must work with him, I'll give them a few tips. Because it's important that I do so. And if they listen to me, it can help them. If they ignore it, it doesn't matter. But at least I'll ask. If I had listened to President Uhuru Kenyatta, when he told us that William Ruto cannot be a good president and it's not good for the country, this country will not be in the shit we are in. Myself, predicament we are in.
With respect to what's your language, Mheshimiwa?
Yeah? I'm just saying we will not be where we are. We will not be where we are. And the mistake we made was to join William Ruto in his party. Since that we have learned and formed our own party. And we cannot be swallowed or merged with anybody. So we'll have to work, whoever wants to have a coalition with us. Our party, the DCP, will have a coalition.
Okay, katia ODM Shauri, hii ni chama ambacho kimekuwa katika siasa ya Kenya kwa muda wa miaka 20. DCP is hardly 2 years.
I'm talking as Rigathi Gachagua. It may have been 20 years. I may be nobody, but I cannot be denied a chance to give advice. Maybe you think I'm nobody, but I'm saying I have been with William Ruto. Listen, I've been with William Ruto as his deputy. He should change all of us. So I have something that I know that I can share because I can see ODM is being induced to work with William Ruto. I have some experience that can be useful. Okay. Unless you don't want me to share.
Asante. Yeah. Asante. Watu wa mlima chama cha kisiasa. Kumaanisha chama cha DCP ni cha watu wa mlima pekee.
Hapana.
Tukiangalia vyanzo vya sheria.
Chama yetu ni ya kitaifa. We won a by-election in Kisa East, in Quisero, that is Kakamega, that is Narok in Rift Valley. We won a seat in Kariobangi North, which is cosmopolitan. But every community has a political home. You know, the Luo Nation, their political home is ODM with other Kenyans. The mountain people, the Kalenjin, their home is UDA with other Kenyans. So every community has a home politically, and that is the way it should be, and it must be that way. But I'm saying, what ODM should do, my honest advice, because I can see it being destroyed, and I can see them along the way crying the way the mountain is crying, through the political parties fund. If William Ruto is serious that he wants ODM to stand as a political party, John Buddy is the CS National Treasury. They should reduce, ODM should demand 12 billion shillings owed to ODM to be released to ODM so that financially they are independent and they can chart their own course. Number two, the main 2026, 2027 financial year. Before the elections and after, he made a lot of promises to the mountain people. Mau roads, this, that. Nothing has been done for 4 years. What ODM must make us reducible minimum. All those projects he has announced, they must demand that money, if there is no money in the last budget. Listen, let me say a few things I want to say. That money should be reflected in the budget. And it should not be a token. If the project is 1 billion, you can't put 50 million in budget for the next financial year and say the project is funded. The money must be put in the budget. Number three, whatever relationship, whatever, it must be made public. If they are being promised that they will be given the deputy president, it must be announced publicly. Whatever they are being promised, there should be a public pronouncement. Because the mistake I made, we did some things under the table in writing. Even Musalia, they did the same. All is a public pronouncement, and they should demand early enough so that they have time to look elsewhere in case they are not satisfied with what they are agreeing with him. Number four, and the most important, to make sure that ODM stands. William Ruto had no footage in Nyanza. He had no footage in Coast. He had no footage. If ODM enters in agreement with William Ruto, they must demand that those areas are zoned for ODM so that they have enough members of parliament to be able to go into government with. But if they open up their strongholds, William Ruto, they want, to enter into a deal with him, they are look elsewhere in case they are not satisfied with what they are agreeing with him. Number four, and most every day he is there. He spent more time. He was 9 years in the mountain. Nowadays he doesn't come. The same script. He was coming to the mountain, promising us good. To the mountain, promising us good.
Viongozi wa DCP, je, kuna yoyote yule ambaye anatoka katika eneo la Nyanza? Swali la pili, kuna wakati ulisema the position ya PS Interior na CS Finance ilikuwa a reserve of the mountaineers.
Yes.
Na bado unatuambia unatupenda?
No, watu Mable Owino, the Deputy Secretary General in charge of strategy, is a Luo girl from Kisumu, very talented young woman, and she's working with me. When I was appointed Deputy President, my Chief of Staff was George Makeboy from the Luo Nation, a great administrator.
Lakini aliondolewa baadaye akapelekwa mahali.
Ruto alimtoa akampeleka
Djibouti.
Some funny somewhere. Yeah, I loved the guy. And when Ruto found my office was functioning well and he wanted to bring me down, one of the strategies a man had brought to my office for the community and their professionalism. There's something you asked me, you said.
CS Treasury.
CS Treasury, yes, it's true. Just the way ODM is saying, before we elected for National Treasury, CS, for CS Interior, for CS Agriculture. That is the way negotiations are done. And I was just saying, what we negotiated, you cannot take away. It does not mean that I have a problem with whoever I was giving. I was just saying what we have negotiated, give it to me. Just the way we are saying now, I have had Governor Mombasa saying deputy president is a reducible minimum. If they agree that they are given deputy president, go. So myself, I was quite right in saying whatever we agreed, we delivered. You had said, give me your votes, I'll give you this. We give you our votes, and what we gave you are taking away. I'm saying is wrong.
Ukiangalia hiyo ratiba ya wale ya Rais Ruto, kuna baadhi watu ambao ni wanane kutoka eneo la Mlima Kenya.
Yes.
Does it bother you? Does it worry you?
Not at all.
In terms of representation in the cabinet?
I negotiated for the mountain in exchange of votes. ODM is demanding 50%. Is there anything wrong?
This is where the problem is.
Politics is a game of interest.
This is where the problem is. So what about the other nations and the other tribes?
But have you asked
that conversation?
Have you asked Oburu when he is demanding 50, what will happen to the rest of the
country? That is a conversation they're having, and I'll speak to him when we speak to him.
Yes.
But we're speaking to you now. The Mount Kenya region has about 8 CSs, more than 15 PSs, and more than 300 in this cycle of government in terms of leadership.
We had a political negotiation. William Ruto wanted votes from the mountain, 4 million votes. We gave it to him. And we say, in exchange, this is what we want. That's the way politics are done. And that's why I'm saying ODM cannot agree to dissolve. Because if they dissolve, how will they negotiate with William Ruto?
They've not had a conversation of dissolving, but I'm asking you, because you're a leader of the opposition now, and if you have a negotiation with ODM, will you then offer them the 8 slots and the 15 PS?
My friend, the dynamics of those negotiations will dictate what will happen then. We are not yet there. Let's not cross the bridge before we get there. Negotiations are informed by the parameters that exist at that time. William Ruto had been rejected by all other Kenyans except the mountain. He was desperate for the mountain vote. So we also asked him, we are the only people who are willing to back him. Nyanza, nobody else was willing to back him. The mountain was the only stupid region that could not see through him. We were conned, and we have accepted our mistake, and we are going to correct it. But since we are the only ones who are available to support him, we demanded as much as we could, because that's the nature of negotiations. But now, if we are in a coalition like now, we are with so many other people, I don't think we can demand that much, because whoever we are with, we are many of us. You know? But that time, other than the mountain, nobody else trusted William Ruto. They knew him, and they knew whom he is.
Do you understand
and history is repeating itself. As we speak today, only that region seems to believe William Ruto can be anything. And that is why they are demanding 50%. And I think they doesn't want ODM in Nyanza are saying, wow, since nobody wants you, can you give us 50%?
Do you understand why people are a bit shy to deal with you? Because of the strong language that you use. Even right now, when we speak about a conversation.
Say you are shy dealing with me.
You have just
Don't talk about other people.
You just said the Mount Kenya region are the only people who are stupid enough. Yes. That tagging is where the problem is.
No, we were
labeling community.
I have said that is a feeling in my community that we were conned, and we did not see it through the con. We were conned, and everywhere. Who cannot lead a businessman who has, reaped the country, who has taken over all the businesses in the country, who has ordered abductions and extrajudicial killings, who has spoiled relationship with other countries. We were duped. And when people are duped, how do you describe them? And I have said myself, I was stupid. I've accepted. I was stupid enough not to see through William Ruto. And that's why I'm saying I don't want anybody else to be conned. I don't want anybody else to be duped. I have a responsibility as a Kenyan leader to tell other people whom I can see conned. And if I don't tell you, because myself, I feel terrible, because Uhuru Kenyatta hand warned me, and our people. And we did not listen. And we can therefore not blame Uhuru Kenyatta because he had told us, this man is not fit to lead. This man will make sure there is no country. The same has come to pass in Uhuru Kenyatta's lifetime. I don't want any other community to fall into the same trap when I'm alive and when I have a mouth to tell them. And that's why I'm telling the people of Luo Nyanza, hey, be careful. And if you must go to bed with this man, can you demand
coalition to them? Because Wiper has given that
coalition,
DCP
coalition making is a continuous process. We are waiting to see what happens after Ruto breaks down ODM and what remains and whom we can deal with.
How will he break it down? Because there's been no conversation about dissolving.
Already,
it's a conversation for a coalition, a broad-based government.
Junet, Wanga, they have sold ODM to Ruto. It was sold in Kirigori.
Evidence to that effect.
I've just told you.
Waliuza chama kwa pesa ngapi?
We know these things, my friend. We have been around for a long time.
No, explain
when Rigathi tells you your wife is pregnant, go and buy that.
Let's explain this to us, Mheshimiwa. So you are working currently with the DAPK and Wiper and everybody else.
We are having
is working with ODM.
You see, they have been bought. That is why. Why? No, listen.
So why?
You asking me why?
Yeah. Have you bought this?
No, I've not bought anybody.
They don't. So why is building the other coalition between ODM and UDA a matter of one buying the other and not coalition building? Because
the people who sold ODM don't want a Sifuna. Because Sifuna has refused to sell ODM to William Ruto. That's why they have called an NDC to kick him out. And that will be the death of ODM. And that's what Ruto wants. He wants to kill ODM. He told me myself that I'll kill this ODM. I cannot allow
again, that is hearsay. So we cannot verify that statement because that was a conversation.
Go and ask him when the two of you.
How much was bought?
A deposit has been paid.
How much deposit?
What?
How much is the deposit?
One
making the allegations.
I'll go and find out also.
You're the one making the allegations.
Ukasema sisi kazi yetu ni labda kujua zaidi.
Pia nyinyi mfanya kazi kidogo, mimi nimepatia nyinyi tip, nyinyi mfanye hiyo ingine. You are also investigative journalists. Go and find out the figure. Okay. And let me tell you what happened, my brother. Just open up your eyes. I've done oral literature. I studied Luo customs. Death and burial is a very strong and emotive issue in the Luo nation. Okay? Raila Odinga dies. Before his body arrives in Kenya, ODM has changed hands. In an African setup, and among the Luo, I've studied oral literature. ODM, he dies. A team is sent to go and bring his body. Junet Mohammed conveniently becomes sick. He doesn't go to collect the body. Suluhu gets sick, conveniently doesn't go to collect the body. Oburu, conveniently, the brother doesn't go to collect the body. Before the body arrives, National Executive Council is convened. And the leadership of ODM changes hands. Raila Odinga is inherited before his body arrives in the country and before he is buried. It has never happened in Sot, even before his body arrived in this country. Yeah? And that is why they want to kick out Sifuna, because Sifuna cannot agree to that scheme.
The statements of the ODM being sold is the one thing you keep referring to, but you can't tell us how much. Why should we believe
asked
you on that conversation? And you keep referring to
that a man is inherited before he is buried.
I'm not the one answering the questions. You're the one answering the questions.
Just saying, I'm just throwing a question.
You're the one answering the questions
for your own mind.
Why would you say it's been bought?
But why don't you? Why are you not asking me to explain?
We're asking you to explain how much was it bought for, and you're not telling us.
Lots of money.
How much?
A lot of.
What was the deposit?
Lots of money.
Is it because one person lives there now? Because it's a coalition. You're the one who's told us you've been in politics for long. So we're trying to understand.
I don't know why you want to play advocate for William Ruto. Aren't you both had as a law that ODM is getting finished. You should be both at. That is your vehicle. That is a vehicle that Raila Odinga
As DCP maybe to be solid and work with
to do what?
Work with
with the ODM.
I am saying
And even accommodate.
I am willing
Willing
to work with like-minded Kenyans, like-minded political parties. But I am saying we are still waiting. We are observing the political space. The destruction of ODM is imminent. Whatever little will be left or whatever will go away, we'll see whom we can work with. The Wanga, Junet, Oburu wing will go with William Ruto. Whatever else remains, because I've seen Akina Sifuna, Akina Babu, Akina Orengo, they are steadfast that they don't want to destroy Raila's legacy. They want multi-party democracy to work. They want a strong political party. The Akina
wing of ODM you want to work with?
There?
Is that the wing of ODM?
I don't know what will remain. Let's see what happens on Friday.
You just said that they are
I'm just saying.
and that's the Linda Mwananchi team.
I am
where
listening.
James
I'm
Orengo is Edwin
listening. I'm
Sifuna.
listening.
Are you working with?
I am listening to Orengo. I'm listening to Babu. I'm listening to Sifuna. And I agree with him that we need good, strong political parties for Kenya's democracy. I'm in agreement with them.
So you're likely to work together?
Yeah, why not?
Have you had a conversation of working together?
Not yet, but why not? Politics, as I told you, is dynamic. We can work together.
Okay.
Yeah.
But are you willing to have a conversation with Oburu again?
I have no problem. I can work with anybody.
Okay.
I can work with anybody who wants to work with us. We have no problem.
Including President William Ruto?
What?
Are you willing to work with President William Ruto?
I'm not willing to work with President William Ruto. He's bad for the country. He's destroyed the Kenyan nation. We had very good education system bequeathed to us by Mwai Kibaki. Free primary education. He has destroyed it. We had day secondary school bequeathed to us by Uhuru Kenyatta. He has destroyed it. We had Leader Mama destroyed. He has sold public.
But all these are being done by the approval.
We have a shell of a country.
But
are being done by the approval of the National Assembly.
No.
Which is an entity given that mandate to do so.
There is no approval. And by the way, the National Assembly is also captured. Yeah, it's not a house that now represents.
Including MPs who are allied to you, you say are captured.
Mine are the minority. The majority have the way.
When did this Damascus moment for you appear? When you now noticed that the person described as your brother is running the country down?
1 year down the line after
you were impeached.
Why I said it internally.
You only talked about this after you impeached.
I said it internally, but when I was still in office, I said not.
Why didn't you resign?
Why should I? I was not elected by William Ruto. I heard him saying that he gave me an opportunity. He didn't give me an opportunity. I was given an opportunity to lead by the people of Kenya. The people of Kenya, not William Ruto.
When you were friends, in fact, I'm quoting you again, you had said that President William Ruto, you were not to be known if it wasn't for President William Ruto. In fact, at the time, you were having a camaraderie with him, saying that he's been holding the hands of other leaders, including yourself. Why has that changed?
Does not make me daft because I was friendly with William Ruto. I have no brain. The minute I started seeing the country is headed in the wrong direction, I told him no. When I was in office, my friend, if you remember, I called a press conference in Mombasa on 26th of June. I said, Mr. President, don't call our kids criminals. These are our sons and daughters. I stood with the Gen Zs when I was in office.
At that point, there was really a conversation about your impeachment.
Don't say, no, that was June. Impeachment came in October. I didn't speak when I left office. When he sabotaged the war, I told him on his face, why is your CS Interior and PS Interior sabotaging the war on alcohol? I heard him saying that I was taking money from cartel.
They said you are extortionist.
Yeah, he can say whatever he wants to say. If that was true, it would have been one of the charges of the impeachment. It wasn't. That is an afterthought. After I have really put him to that is sending him home. The reality of one term has just sunk to him. I have told you, I told him publicly, don't sabotage the war on drugs and alcohol when I was in office. I did not start telling him off when I left office. And one of the reasons why, when he brought the finance bill, 2024, I was the only lone voice in the cabinet to say no. This is not a acceptable to the people of Kenya, and the people of Kenya will have a problem with it, and we shall have an egg on our face. And it came to pass. I went back to the cabinet. I said, Mr. President, I told you, you did not want to listen to me. I told you this thing cannot be accepted by the people of Kenya. So this argument that I only spoke after I left office is a fallacy. It's not true. I spoke from inside, and that is what precipitated my removal, because sense, and starting with the people of Kenya from within government. And by the way, that is what the framers of the 2010 Constitution wanted. They wanted a deputy president who is elected and who cannot say no to the president because he's his appointee. The framers of the 2010 Constitution wanted to bring oversight within the executive so that you have a president and a deputy who are both elected.
But
and since not both of them can go wrong at the same time, if one of them goes wrong, the other one can check him.
Hiyo ilikuwa kazi ya bunge. Tuko na makamati mbalimbali za bunge kuangalia jinsi executive inavyotenda kazi.
There is something called the letter and the spirit of the law. The letter is what is written. The spirit is the intention. Why did the framers of the Constitution want two elected people? One president and a deputy elected by the people. So that the deputy president has a voice because he's elected by the people. The current deputy president we have is a robot. He is somebody's appointee. There is nothing he can say. Everything is yes sir, yes sir, yes sir.
You
but myself, because I was elected,
you had said in one of the political meetings when you were still in good terms with the president that wewe ni mtu wake wa mkono, wewe ni Mr. Yes sir.
I say yes on good things. I was prepared to be yes sir on what is true, what is good, what is constitutional, what is within the law. I had no problem. And for the good things that we were doing, I was supporting him 100%. But when he started abductions, extrajudicial killings, I said no.
Okay.
When he started demolitions and evictions, I said no. When he started theft of public resources, I said no. When he started misappropriation of public wealth, yes sir, on things that are constitutional, things that are good, things that serve the people of Kenya, things that are appropriate and that improves the lives of the people of Kenya. I was more than prepared.
Thank you.
The minute I realized that what was happening is not what is supposed to happen, I said no.
Kuna wakati ulikuwa kama naibu wa rais, wakati chama cha ama coalition ya Azimio, pema sana kwa ofisi yako ukicoordinate masuala ya kudeal with mambo ya maandamano, watu waliuawa, watu wakapigwa vibaya sana, mali ikaharibika. Was this part of the script of saying yes sir to the Mr. President?
I was not in charge of security operations. The way the security architecture works in
you chaired a meeting, Mr.
The way the security architecture works in
you chaired some meeting in absence of the president.
Yeah. Let me tell you, the way the security architecture works in this country, except if directed by the president to carry out a certain assignment, or the president is out of the country and deliberately assigns the deputy some duties. That meeting I chaired that one day on a Sunday morning. We had gone to the airport and he was chairing the meeting. At time was going, he told me to continue with the deliberations.
Okay.
But down on maandamano were made by the president, executed by Kindiki and Raymond Omolo. I was a bystander. Going to the office early in the morning was part of my routine. I used to go to the office every day at 5. Whether there is maandamano or no maandamano. I have found some ODM MPs going to Nyanza to tell people that people were accused when I was deputy president. I was not president. I did not appoint the inspector general. I did not appoint the director. Those who are appointees.
Kanda kwamba IG wa polisi wa sasa kijana kutoka kwenyu, wewe ndio ulimpendekeza kwa rais.
Yes, but he's the appointing authority. You can recommend somebody, but he can take it or not take it.
So did you recommend the wrong person? Is that what you're saying?
True.
Do you regret recommending the IG?
No, I have no regret. What happened with IG is that the president decided to sack Ken. I need a report of Meru who I enjoy. And so Kome was identified, and I took part in that identification. But I don't take responsibility for his actions. The fact that I said this guy is okay, but the appointing authority is the one who made the final appointment. I made so many other recommendations which he ignored.
Yes. Quick feedback. Ashley Dan says, shame on you, Ramogi, for inviting a tribalist for an interview. How will you shake off this tag of being a tribalist?
Well, to start with, if tribalism is speaking one's language, then Ramogi station should never have existed. Why do you call me to a tribal show?
We didn't call you.
But
you called
No,
us.
I'm saying why does this show exist?
You requested us.
You are being asked here that there's a tag for you being a tribalist.
What makes me a tribalist?
Shareholding conversation is one
But
of them. That's
Oburu
a big
is talking about
conversation that's
shareholding.
happening.
Is he a
But let's
tribalist?
not deflect the question
No,
to
no,
other
no,
people.
no,
It's
no.
you started this
Let me tell
conversation
you,
on shareholding.
my friend.
And people believe that you stand for the mountain more than any other reason.
Shareholding is part of the agreement between Wetangula and Musalia Mudavadi, and is signed by William Ruto. Does that make him a tribal expectation? And that's what ODM is saying. And they are saying it so loudly. Why is that person sending you that message, not asking why Oburu and those who are asking for shareholding with Ruto are not tribalists?
Because we're speaking to you now. So is that the same arithmetic that you have
that
as
is
a
a tag.
position?
Let me tell you, that tag of tribalism has been pushed by William Ruto. My community was supporting him. He never said I'm trouble. My community and I are not tribal. Ask me why. In the last election, we had a candidate called Mwaura. We never gave him any vote. We gave 4 million votes to William Ruto and 1.3 million votes to Raila Odinga. I had the leeway to say I cannot support William Ruto because he comes from another community.
Okay.
Then he was saying I'm a very good man, a very good mobilizer, a people-centered guy. I don't know what. He had very kind words about me.
Okay.
But the minute I and my people decided that he had betrayed us,
Yep.
he had shortchanged us, he had deceived us, he is not what he told us he is, he is not what we thought he was. He had deceived us. He is not.
Prayer.
Sirikal tesre mar lero kaka
on payment was based on the negotiations after the clearance of the Attorney
od
General.
bura bedo matin tok pio ula ywero puothe mathoth e kaunti no.
People decided that he had betrayed us,
Yep.
he had shortchanged us, he had deceived us. To my home here. I've lived here for very long. And I requested this interview because this is an important medium of communication to the Luo nation. And these stations, I want to say, they are not tribal. They are very good stations because all communities have their unique ways and they have their language. And communication, as far as I'm concerned, is not what you say, but what is understood. People understand their language better. So I sought to talk to the Luo nation through this medium because I felt that there is a very deliberate attempt by William Ruto to create a wedge between me and the Luo nation and my community, the Mount Kenya people, and a lot of false narratives and an attempt to create a bogeyman, somebody whom the Luo nation can hate for no reason. And I thought it is important that I engage the community as to what I think about the community, our relationship, the past, the present, and the future, and possible areas of cooperation. And also is my responsibility as a leader in this country when I see a community is being taken in a certain direction that my community has been taken through before. I have a responsibility to tell them, wow, here, be careful. We have seen it before. I can see the trajectory, and what has happened to me and my community can happen to you, so be careful. And they make the decisions. And you see what we do, Trevor, when we talk to people. You just talk to them. Whether they agree with what you say or not, that's up to them. Whether they accept your advice or not, that's up to them. If they reject it totally, that's up to them. But once you talk to them, your heart becomes free and your conscience is clear.
All right. You're perceived in that region that you're talking about as being primarily primarily against the Luo nation because of your strong statements over time. Do you have a problem with the Luo community?
Far from it. I have nothing against the Luo community. I have nothing but admiration. I'm a great admirer of the Luo nation. And my history with the people from that nation is very colorful. I am a student of political science, and the people who have made me who I am, the professors and doctors who took care of my politics at the University of Nairobi are from the Luo nation. The late Dr. Nyangira took me through basic concept in political science. The late Dr. Katete Orwa was my mentor at the University of Nairobi. Professor Wanyande was a great lecturer. And today I owe to them for my politics because I know a lot. In my employment life, I was mentored by two great public servants, three public servants from the Luo nation. Samuel Eric Oreta was a district commissioner for Kiambu. A great man from Kedube. When I reported to Kiambu as a young district officer, 25 years, he took me through how to be a good administrator. And I'm a good administrator through the hands of Samuel Eric Oreta. I went through Peter Aburu, who was my district commissioner in Kakamega. Later on, he became provincial commissioner in Nyeri. He took me through mentorship. The late Hezekiah Oyugi, Kalam Maduong, that great administrator, I worked under him. I have good relationship with the Luo community, and I must tell you, I trust the professionals from that community, like many of us do. All these rich people you see here in Nairobi, all these very educated people, they are doctors, are from the Luo community. Professor Ogutu is a great doctor at the Nairobi hospital, and I had challenges with my stomach for many years and had to see many doctors until somebody recommended that I see Professor Ogutu in 2016. And the matter was settled. If I go to Nairobi hospital and Professor Ogutu is not there, I go away unless it's an emergency until I see him. Our architects, the people, the men who designed this house, Architect Touma, a great architect, he designed this house for me 30 years ago. And even when I have to do my interior in Nyeri, wherever I am in my family hotels, the professionals from the Luo community are great people. A structural engineer, Ogutu, he has done all my structural work. I have many artisans who work for me. You know, I have a very great respect for the Luo professionals because they are really professional and they are very proud of their work. They are people you actually cannot avoid if you are serious Kenyan. So anybody saying that I have a problem with the community, far from it. I have nothing against the community. We have had problems politically. And when people are opposing each other, when the late Raila Odinga was an opponent of Mwai Kibaki, I was for Mwai Kibaki.
When payment was based on the negotiations after the clearance.
You want to speak to Ramogi TV and Ramogi Radio. You want to speak to Ramogi TV.
You know, Nyanza did not have an agreement with him because they were in Azimio. But Western Kenya, when a project is done, and it's finished.
Let's come back to the Rironi Mau Summit Road. So you've admitted that you've seen some works there. but you're saying
Yeah, I've
there's no
seen what you
contract.
call data works.
So this is a PPP project. Why does it require any budget allocation? Because is it not
I
being
talked
done by
about,
the
I've
same,
said
the same
we want to see,
contractor, China
I've
Bridge,
said
who
we
did
want
the
to see a
expressway?
contract.
Hold on 1 second. We're just talking about this. Isn't it the same contractor who did the expressway? So why, if it is a PPP, why then would you need to see the contract?
There is no project that you do without a binding contract, because this money will be paid by taxpayers. It doesn't matter whether it's PPP or whatever it is, it will be paid by the people of Kenya. Anything that has a monetary implication must be founded on a contract that is binding and that has clauses also for default.
Is the way to go.
The
The
PPP
public-private partnership.
is too expensive. It's too expensive. I don't think it's necessary.
What option are you offering? Should you be the president of the Republic of Kenya?
I will just propose that we complete ongoing projects.
Go about it.
We just collect enough, and we use it prudently, without exaggerated figures, without putting in commissions for civil servants, and kwetu wanasema unajikuna pahali unajifikia, to complete ongoing projects before we embark on new ones.
If not through PPP, how would you want
we
to do it?
we just raise enough revenue by having a very prudent mechanism of revenue collection, sealing all the loopholes, sealing all the leaks, and also using
that we are stretched thin.
But
so if we don't do it through PPP,
we started collecting.
How would you do it?
Funds.
Will you increase taxation?
We start collecting funds and use those funds for development, not for bribing voters. You have seen the budget of a State House when Uhuru Kenyatta was there. It was 4.5. It has gone to 17 billion. That third wasted.
So you believe the government is too extravagant?
Yeah, there is always money that you collect from taxes, through VAT, through pay as you earn, through income tax. There is sufficient funds in this country, but we need to use those funds prudently for the purposes for wastage and privilege.
So practically speaking, if you took over as the president, what is the first thing you would do?
It is to stop theft of public funds.
How?
Just that. Stop people from stealing from the top. Once the president is stealing, everybody else joins in the gravity train. You stop it from the top. Once you stop from the top, it stops. It must be stopped.
How?
We also must
I'm
stop
still struggling
using,
with the how.
I will not have, by not allocating 17 billion to State House.
So you cut down.
The president is allocating 450 billion for choppers, for going around doing politics and doing nothing. Those are the things that we must stop. Wastage.
So in your mathematics,
once we stop wastage, those funds, because they are available, we apply them prudently for the benefit. I'm saying what we need to do, I need to get into office and put it down and see what is wastage and what is useful. Yeah, that will do. But I am clear in my mind that if you stop theft at the top by the president, the rest will follow.
It's a year to election, Mheshimiwa. I'm trying to get into your tangible conversation that the opposition are all about one term, but no specific agenda.
Hold your horses. I'll be having an election manifesto explaining to the people of Kenya what I'll do for them if I'm president.
When should we expect that manifesto?
Just hold your horses. Just wait.
For now, you don't have any general
It's
structure.
being worked on. There are people working on it. Okay. It's a good document. It needs to be worked on. There are many technical people who have input. Fullness of time, we'll have an election manifesto. You will be able to ask me questions based on my proposal.
Umezungumzia maswali ya ufisadi kwa kina kabisa. Je, kuna maybe the pillars that top notch that you would want to maybe share with us in terms of what you know?
To deal with corruption.
Apart from corruption.
Yeah.
Any other thing that you see?
we
What other
need,
things?
we need to restore institutions of governance. We need to restore the independence of parliament. You know, we need to make sure that there is no interference in the criminal justice system. I've just seen they are harassing Tuju. They have slapped him with a demolishing that body. After harassing him, the man is in hospital. That guy had a bad accident. He injured his spine. He was mishandled by police. He is in hospital. He has not killed anybody. He has not done anything that would warrant that. They have now using KRI to intimidate him so that he can shut up. We must stop the use of the criminal justice system to manage politics. We must stop using police to how to deal with the business people. There's work to be done at the Nairobi Railway City that is funded by the British, and there was a tender, and one company quoted 22 billion shillings. The one that the president prefers called CRBC, who are doing everything. They are doing the Atlanta Stadium, they are doing SGR, they are doing 9 billion, a difference of 7 billion. Then the ones who quoted 22 billion, who are the people who had been recommended to do that tender, they went to the appeals tribunal for procurement to intimidate them and to stop them from complaining. They are doing a road and put in a plane and deported to China.
Yeah.
Those are things we must stop.
Okay.
The use of the criminal justice system to do politics and also to intimidate business people to the advantage of the powers that be.
All right.
These are the things that we must work on.
There's a question here from called settlements. What does DCP or his political faction offer the Luo nation as the alternative to be able to work with him in the lead up to 2027 election?
Well, we don't just offer the Luo nation, we offer the people of Kenya good governance. We want good governance. Our slogan, you must, because they are our employers, they are the ones who give you power, and that power must be exercised in accordance with their wishes. I'm not just offering the Luo nation a good government, I'm just offering the people of Kenya good governance where their voice matters. When the people of Kenya say they don't want housing, I told William the responsibility of government is to provide services, roads, water, electricity, sewage, drainage, security. They want houses to be left to the private sector. He told me, you don't agree with you don't do what is popular, you do what is right. But if the majority of the people who have given you the job decide what you are doing is not right, you cannot argue with them. So I am saying what I'm offering to the people of Kenya, the Luo nation is part of the Kenyan nation. It's good governance. Checks and balances is the supremacy of institutions of governance, where we allow institutions to play their rightful role. That's what Mwai Kibaki did, and he was a very successful president. He allowed institutions to work, and he let everybody work. He did not micro. You never saw Mwai Kibaki on top of a vehicle. You know, we have a president who was elected. When you are looking for leadership, there's nothing wrong with you being on top of a vehicle. But once you are elected, you settle down in Harambee House, you settle down in State House and work. You know, you can't be using us. You must sit in an office and put in hard work. Sit on a desk, get briefs, digest them, and give guidance and give direction as to what will happen. We want to restore the dignity of the presidency. We want to get the Kenyan president to get from State House. I am not going to be a president. If I am elected president of the Republic of Kenya, you will never see me on top of the vehicle. I'll either be in office or I'll be in State House working.
All right. We're about to give you a chance to give closing remarks because we're running out of time here. But there's a question here from one Eriko. Can you respond to Ruto about the murder of girls after impregnating them? Eriko Kach from Kisumu.
I cannot respond to nonsense. pettiness and gossip. President has sunk too low, he has become a gossiper. Instead of addressing real issues affecting this country, this both had. He is on top of a vehicle saying that somebody's cow has died because of a tick. What kind of pettiness is that? Hata ng'ombe ya mtu ikikufa na wewe ni president, unaongea hiyo ni maneno ya ujinga na fitina ambayo haina haja.
Dedicating 1% of his time to respond to you. Because you're the one who started this conversation.
But the kind of, they are one thing that you never allow go. There is a project called Koru Soin Dam.
Yes.
Uhuru Kenyatta allocated 20 billion. That was a dam that would serve the people of Kericho and the people of Kisumu. It would address the floods in Nyando so that when it rains, the water can go to the nation. William Ruto removed that 20 billion. When he comes to Nyanza, the people of Nyanza must ask him, why did you remove the 20 billion from this project that Uhuru Kenyatta had given the people of Luo?
And you aware that there's an appeals by the two contractors contesting the award of the tender for that particular project?
Kabonyo Fisheries Training School, 3 billion shillings through the Hungary. It was going on, it has stalled. The people should have asked him. Instead of abusing Rigathi Gachagua, Soni, Muhoroni, Chemilil, they have all been sold to people. 10.2 billion shillings owed to employees of that region. People are committing suicide. Their properties are being auctioned. I did not hear a single...
How many people have committed suicide so far? With regards to
this? Quite a number. Sikusikia kiongozi hata moja, Oburu, nani, Suluhu, hakuna mtu aliuliza Ruto, hii 10.2 billion, mutalipa 100 million for these sugar factories that were sold without public participation. Those are the things I wanted us to discuss. And what
did you do during your tenure as the deputy president to address the issues of the sugar subsector in the region?
Stable. These factories, the people of Nyanza should have been given an opportunity to buy shares. They would have owned them and they would take care of them. But they were sold to Ruto's friends. We are now there in Nyatike. There is gold. Chinese have been given the rights to come and prospect and also to do the processing. Why can't people from Nyanza be given an opportunity to participate in the prospecting of gold and processing of gold?
All right.
Those are the issues I had wanted us to discuss. The issue of fish, let me tell you, my brother. Instead of William Ruto coming to the Luo Nation to abuse Rigathi Gachagua the way he was abusing Raila Odinga, what you need to do for the Luo Nation, and that is what I will do when I'm president, we must discuss the resource given by God, fish, in the Lake Victoria. If you really want to empower the Luo Nation, forget about all these other things, is to come up with the processing plants, is to come up with empowerment for people to be given fishing nets, to be given boats to go and get fish. Because this fish is very expensive. And it's unfortunate that people are wallowing in poverty when they have a resource next to them, they are in the lake.
Are you admitting that during your tenure as the deputy president, you couldn't push for the Luo agenda in terms of
There's
Luo
nothing
economy?
I could push for. The government that I was deputy president is a one-man show. William Ruto micromanages everything. He even advises his own advisors on how to advise him. He decides everything. We were just there, just struggling, trying to make ends meet. And he says you there, he says you there and there. But he does everything. And that is what we want to change. We want to have a government that has institutions that are working. People who have been appointed, they can go and work.
All right.
And let me also tell...
I'd like to give you a chance for closing remarks because we've run out of time here. But I was looking at the Koru Soin dam that you talked about. There was no 20 billion that was allocated. In fact, it was 2 billion. It was allocated but removed in 2020 because it was too little for the project, which was 19 billion. That you can't put that 20 billion could not be allocated in that financial year. But even then,
have you been told what happened?
Let's have your final comments because we've run out of time here. Just a minute.
Well, Trevor, you have been very biased in this show, which is very unprofessional. Because anyway, let me not go into that. Let me say my closing remarks. The Luo Nyanza had a vice president called Jaramogi. but they still agitated for justice and rights. They never became complacent because they had a vice president. The Luo nation has had a prime minister. Raila and the Luo people still stood for what is right and justice. The people of Nyanza cannot be bought by positions. During Moi's time, out of 18 MPs, 17 were ministers and assistant ministers. But the Luo nation still stood for what is true and right. I want to tell the Luo nation, you have 2 cabinet positions. Wadai is there for energy. More than 70% of the Luo nation has no electricity. It doesn't mean because Wadai is eating, the Luo nations are eating. We, the mountain, have 8 ministers, but we are opposed to William Ruto because he is doing the wrong things. And those 8 positions are for individual ministers and their families. So these 2 positions the Luo nation has, that the community now is not going on well in the country. They cannot demand what is rightfully theirs and they pay taxes because they have 2 cabinet positions. The Luo nation has always had very senior positions, but it's a dignified community that has always stood for what is true and what is right. Okay. I'm asking the Luo nation, much as you have 2 cabinet positions, fight for your right, fight for what is just, and make sure that you position yourselves properly so that the interests of your community can be taken care of in the future.
Will you be visiting the Luo nation soon?
Yes, I will.
When?
Well, soon. I'm just working my things around. I hope Raymond Omolo will not sponsor violence against me the way he has been doing in Nairobi. He's been mobilizing people in Nairobi to attack churches.
Allegations that
no, it's true. He can take me to court. He organized violence in Kariobangi Church.
You have evidence for this, so you can take this to court.
Even this attack on Orengo is Omolo.
So you can take this to court?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
He is the one who has been organizing violence in Nyanza. And I want to ask Raymond Omolo, stop violence.
So when are you coming to Nyanza?
I should be coming soon. Well, I'll come.
Will DCP be fielding candidates in that area?
I want to tell the Luo nation that if ODM joins UDA, those who are independent people and minded, who are not psychophants, if you don't come to DCP, you are goose is cooked. You will never get a certificate. DCP is available to the Luo nation. All those leaders who are courageous, who are brave, who believe in the people, who want to go to parliament to fight for the Luo nation, DCP is your party. Even here in Nairobi, I have very many aspirants who have come to DCP. Okay. And I have told the Luo nation here in Nairobi to be careful because previously the ODM has had of Wiper, courtesy of the Malembe nation, courtesy of the Kisii nation. Okay. Those nations are not with Ruto. Ruto has no vote in Nairobi. So if you go and make a partnership with Ruto, where will you get votes? Okay. You people must align yourself with the realities of Nairobi politics. All right. The Nairobi politics, as we speak today, is in the opposition. All right. So if they decide to join Ruto, they will not get a single position here in Nairobi. And I'm saying, like Ruaraka, if I get a good...
All right. Yeah. Thank you, His Excellency. His Excellency Rigathi Gachagua, the DCP leader and also former deputy president. Mane kama we chenru marwa maru chijope. Kawuono nwa rie ma chwalo re matin kwa chako gi wach marangi chwelo mochoko chopo nyaka oyimore kata buch jopiny bende wago mana kae ndigi ogaye mar DCP gi jalup jatend piny Kenya machon Honorable Rigathi Gachagua duoko nero kama na nyako moroko dala ne kae ndi makare nko bira chiel ka chiel twak makende nwantiere ka gi VOJ. Victor Tino Juma.
Ero kama twak nodhi. Twak odhi jopiny giwegi biro ng'ado ni to Gachagua kuom miwa thuolo kendo jopiny bende margo kodwa mbaka ene mo luongo wakanya kwa Mgajwang kaka na wachake ni to nodwara ang'o hie momiyo luongo waka tiwinjo mana kod iti kako duoko penjo mane kaka en ka kamano Trevor en kinde mar goriti nikech gimoro amora ni gisane tantie kod gene wango odiochieng' makawuono
sa koro chopo onodoko nwero kamano kweti Ramogi TV kan kaka pile nyinga Trevor Ombija janding opanga janyakach dendo Ombija taya nyakwar guo. You want to speak to Ramogi TV and Ramogi Radio
here in Nairobi. All these very educated people, they are doctors, are from the Luo community. Professor Ogutu is a great doctor at the Nairobi hospital and had challenges with stomach for many years and had to see many doctors until somebody recommended that I see Professor Ogutu in 2016. And the matter was settled. If I go to Nairobi Hospital and Professor Ogutu is not there, I go away unless it's an emergency until I see him. Our architects, the people, the men who designed this house, Architect Ouma, a great architect. He designed this house for me 30 years ago. And even when I have to do my interior in Nyeri, wherever I am in my family hotels, the professionals from the Luo community are great people. A structural engineer Ogutu, he has done all my structural work. I have many artisans who work for me. You know, I have a very great respect for the Luo professionals because they are really professional and they are very proud of their work. They are people you actually cannot avoid if you are serious Kenyan. So anybody saying that I have a problem with the community, far from it. I have nothing against the community. We have had problems politically. And when people are opposing each other, when the late Raila Odinga was an opponent of Mwai Kibaki, I was for Mwai Kibaki. So ordinarily, there was a contest between my community and the Luo community.
Asante sana. Labda nikigusia kidogo, tukisonga nyuma kidogo, kuna wakati ulikuwa katika msafara wako wa kwenda Kisii, ukapitia Bomet, kuna matamshi mengine uliyosema ambayo ni kana kwamba ni kudhalilisha hii jamii ya Kijaluo. Labda producer ungetupatia nafasi ya kusikiza ili tuweke jambo hili kwa muktadha, jinsi ulivyozungumza ukiwa na wale watu kutoka maeneo ya Bomet County. Labda tusikize vile ulivyozungumza kwa hiyo hadhara.
Rais alipitishwa na kura ya mlima na ya Wakalenjin. Sasa nikamuuliza rais, kama tumesahau hii Wakalenjin walikuvumilia mwaka 5, wewe unachukua kila kitu unapeleka Nyanza kutembelea hii watu, ukija Kericho, ukija Bomet, unakuja kanisa interdenominational, bora ukuje kufungua project Bomet, bora ukuje Kericho, bora uende Nandi.
Je, unayajutia hayo matamshi ambayo yanaonekana kudhalilisha jamii ya Kijaluo?
Hapana, mimi sijaongea vibaya. Nimesema rais mlimpigia kura, yeye akuje hapa, anaenda Nyanza. Tungetaka aende Nyanza na pia akuje hapa. Sio ati aende Nyanza peke yake, hata mlimani siku hizi akuje, hata pale lingine haendi. Mimi nilisema tulipigia huyu rais kura hapa Kericho. Nimemuona ameenda Nyanza the whole of Christmas. Hajakuja hapa. Sijasema asiende Nyanza, nimesema akitoka Nyanza akuja nyumbani. Kwa sababu hii Kenya ni yetu sisi zote. Huwezi kaa sehemu moja usahau wale ambaye pia walikupigia kura. So matamshi yangu nilikuwa naambia watu ya Kericho, mimi sirithiki ya kwamba rais sio ati hatembei. Kama angekuwa ofisi na hakuna pahali anatembea, ingekuwa labda ako na kazi mingi kwa ofisi na ameambua hatembei Kenya. Lakini nilisema tunamuona anatembea pande ile ya Nyanza kila wakati, na si Nyanza peke yake kwa Luo Nyanza. Nyanza ni kubwa, iko Kisii, iko Kuria, sio kusema ni Nyanza peke yake ya Luo Nyanza.
Hii ni mojawapo tu ya kanda ambayo ilinakiliwa ukizungumza hayo matamshi. Kuna baadhi ya video ama kanda ambavyo wewe kama naibu wa rais wa kitambo ulizungumza kana kwamba unaidhalilisha hii jamii. ya Wajaluo. Je, unajutia matamshi yako kama kiongozi katika hii nchi?
Mimi sijafanya matamshi yote dhidi ya jamii ya Wajaluo. Kama tulikuwa na mambo ya siasa tukipambana na marehemu Raila Odinga, hiyo ni matamshi ya kisiasa. Na siasa iko na marubano kwa sababu ni mashindano. Na lazima unasifu yule ambaye unapigia campaign na unajaribu kumhujumu yule ambaye mnapingana na yeye. Lakini hakuna siku mimi nimetoa matamshi ya kuhujumu jamii ya Wajaluo.
Do you believe the president should only visit places where he got votes?
No, the president should visit everywhere.
Then why should it be a problem when he goes to Nyanza?
I'm saying he should visit everywhere.
You are very
but
specific.
Not,
you told those people that you are the ones who voted for him, but he's taking your development in Nyanza.
Yes.
Do the Nyanza people deserve any development?
They deserve a lot of development. And the president should visit Nyanza as many times as practically possible. But also he should visit the Rift Valley where he was voted for. He should also visit the mountain where he was voted for. He cannot abandon the people who voted for him and spend all the time in one region. I was saying he must be balanced and he must serve all Kenyans equally. But he cannot pretend that he has forgotten there are certain people and he knows them because he voted for them and he has no time for them and he has time for others. So I was calling for balanced development.
When you're with the president, you used to travel all over the country. Why is it that when he's heading to Nyanza is when you raise those issues around him needing to travel to places where
necessarily. I just gave an example at that particular time.
Do you accept that he's been to the other parts of the country as well?
I gave that example at that particular time over Christmas period because the Christmas period he spent all the time in Nyanza.
And now, do you believe that he's visited other parts of the country?
Well, I've seen him go to Western. Okay. I've not seen him go to the Rift Valley. I've not seen him come back to the mountain. He should visit all parts of the country. Okay. And he should visit all parts of the country and do real and tangible development, not to go to insult people. That I agree. Let him visit everywhere, including Nyanza. Let him also remember that he has people in Rift Valley, he has people in Coast, he has people in Ukambani. He must visit everybody.
That statement inspiring the president to visit Nyanza in itself is contradictory because you have been quoted as saying there are people with shares and others don't. Do you believe the Nyanza people now have shares in the government?
Well, the Nyanza people are talking about shares every day because it's the way politics are done.
You're the one who started the conversation on shares.
Today, okay, those are my students then they are learning very well.
So do the Nyanza people
Odinga,
have shares?
Everybody should have a share in government. And what they are asking for is the right thing. And that is what I was asking. They removed me from office. The ODM people removed me from office for asking for shares for the people who voted for the president. I have had Oburu Odinga, I have had Suluhu and other leaders in ODM telling William Ruto, if you want us to join you, we want 50% shares in your administration. That is the same thing I was saying. But they removed from office and say talking about shares is a very bad thing. And that's why I've been saying they are very hypocritical. You know, shares is about forming government. When you join somebody in a coalition, there are certain expectations. And it's all about shareholding. You agree. If we vote for you, what is there for us? Because politics is about interest. And I have seen the ODM people, they are actually very bold. They are asking for 50% shares. I've heard the governor of Mombasa saying that they want the seat of the deputy president as a irreducible minimum. All they were accusing me of is what they are practicing. So there is really nothing wrong about a discussion about what will happen to you when you form government.
So unasema wewe huna tatizo lolote na jamii ya Wajaluo. Hayati Raila Odinga alipoaga dunia, hukuonekana katika ile hafla iliyokuwa Nyayo Stadium, hafla iliyokuwa Kasarani, hafla iliyokuwa Mamboleo, hata hafla iliyokuwa kwake wakati wa kumuaga. Saa hizi ni miezi mitano, hatuja kuona kama unaenda ku...
It's true. I sent condolences to the late Raila Odinga, and I had planned to go to the Nyayo National Stadium, and I got information that some goons had been arranged to attack me, so that it could create conflict between the Luo Nation and the Kikuyu Nation. And I applied my mind as a senior politician, as a strategist, and I realized that it was a very important occasion for Raila Odinga and his followers, and it would have been imprudent for me to seem like I have brought chaos into a very solemn ceremony that was very, very important. I planned to go to Bondo. I also got information. And you know from where I'm coming from, for the longest, I've been attacked by goons in this Nairobi. And most of them have been organized by a senior civil servant from Luo Nyanza. The goons that have attacked me in church in Kariobangi, in Mweki, when I was coming from the airport, were organized by a senior politician from Nyanza, who is also organizing goons in Nyanza. The ones
Do you
that
have evidence for that?
The ones that heckled, yes, I have. The ones that heckled Orengo were organized by the same person. So I have also my own intelligence. I get to know what goes on in the security sector and in the country. So when I learned also in Bondo that there were plans to attack me physically as a strategy to create a wedge between the Kikuyu Nation and the Luo Nation. Because what would have happened if I was attacked in Bondo, the Kikuyu Nation would have felt very bad and create an enmity with the Luo Nation. And the Luo Nation had nothing against me. You know, in fact, let me tell you, the last time I was in Luo Nation in the company of William Ruto, when I was his deputy, I was given such rousing welcome in Migori, in Homa Bay, in Siaya, in Kisumu. For the 4 days we were in Nyanza. Yeah. The Luo Nation welcomed me like a king. So I knew, people who have dirty schemes of trying to create a wedge between the two communities, wanted to attack me at Nyayo National Stadium and at Bondo to create conflict between the two communities. But I'm too smart of a politician to fall into such hands.
Ameshazikwa, kuna baadhi ya delegation bado wanakwenda kwake alipolazwa.
Yes.
Lakini bado hatujakuona.
I did call my mama Ida Odinga, and I gave her my personal condolences, me and Pastor Dorcas, and we did place a request that we would like to go to Bondo, and she told us that things were still quite heavy, and at the appropriate time she will give us an answer. We are still waiting, and if the family tells her, in fact I was ready with my elders and everybody, but we cannot go to a home unless the owner of that home tells us come.
Are you saying they've denied you entry?
No, they have not.
Because it's been 5 months and you've not been there. Why didn't you go to Karen?
She told us to wait. And we are waiting. Yeah, you cannot force yourself into somebody's home. I'm an elder, I'm a leader in this country. I also am a person who respects families and homes and traditions.
What kind of message does it send, Mheshimiwa, when someone you say you revere passed on and you've not been seen anywhere near that place for 5 months?
I have made my condolences. I have passed my condolences to Mama Ida Odinga. I have said if accorded an opportunity, we would like to go and pay homage to the gravesite.
In one of the interviews with the local radio station, and I'm quoting what you said that Ruto alikuwa anajiringa na Raila, sasa Mungu ni nani? Why are you celebrating the death of the former prime minister?
I'm not celebrating. That is your own interpretation. You can't.
What was your interpretation?
You cannot.
That's what you said.
You cannot put words.
Did you not say what I said?
You cannot put words in my mouth.
Muktadha wa hiyo matamshi ilikuwa nini? Labda.
You cannot put words in my mouth.
I'm quoting you verbatim.
I said life. I said life.
Na Mungu ni nani?
What I meant is that life is dynamic. What is happening yesterday is not what is happening today, and it's not what is happening tomorrow. It has nothing to do with celebrating. It's simply capturing the dynamism of life. That what was yesterday is not what is today. What is today is not what is tomorrow. Life is not static. Life is dynamic. It keeps on moving on.
Mbona kwa ule uchaguzi uliopita ilikuwa sawa wewe kufanya kazi na Rais Ruto, na wakati jamii hii ya Wajaluo wakitaka kufanya kazi na William Ruto, kwa kura ijayo inakuwa tabu kwako?
Nani amesema iko tabu kwangu?
Matamshi yako ni peupe mheshimiwa.
Sijasema iko tabu.
Matamshi yako ni peupe, yanasema hivyo, yanaangaza hivyo.
Mimi nakuuliza, siku rais alikuwa anapigana na Raila Odinga, alikuwa anaunga mkono? Hakuwa anaunga mkono. Kwa hivyo siku tulikuwa tunapigana na Raila hatugeunga mkono. Tena mimi sikupigana na Raila, alipigana na Rais William Ruto. Mimi nilikuwa nasaidia William Ruto kupigana na Raila, lakini yule ambaye walipingana na yeye ni Raila Odinga na William Ruto, sio mimi. Kwa hivyo huwezi sema ati niko na shida. Mimi sina shida. Mimi natafuta uongozi. Ruto anatafuta uongozi, na lazima sisi tupigane na Ruto kwa sababu tunataka kumshinda.
What has changed now? Because this president who you're saying unataka kupigana naye kwa sababu unataka kumshinda was a darling at some point to you. Is it because of the impeachment that now you've changed tune for someone you referred to as your brother?
William Ruto betrayed the Kenyan nation.
You want to speak to Ramogi TV and Ramogi Radio.
Thank you very much, Trevor, and most welcome with Victor to my home here. I've lived here for very long. And I requested this interview because this is an important medium of communication to the Luo nation. And these stations, I want to say they are not tribal. They are very good stations because all communities have their unique ways and they have their language. And communication, as far as I'm concerned, is not what you say, but what is understood. People understand their language better. So I sought to talk to the Luo nation through this medium because I felt that there is a very deliberate attempt by William Ruto to create a wedge between me and the Luo nation and my community, the Mount Kenya people, and a lot of false narratives and an attempt to create a bogeyman, somebody whom the Luo nation can hate for no reason. And I thought it is important that I engage the community as to what I think about the community, our relationship, the past, the present, and the future, and possible areas of cooperation. And also is my responsibility as a leader in this country, when I see a community is being taken in a certain direction that my community has been taken through before, I have a responsibility to tell them, wow, here, be careful. We have seen it before. I can see the trajectory, and what has happened to me and my community can happen to you, so be careful. And they make the decisions. And you see what we do, Trevor, when we talk to people. You just talk to them. Whether they agree with what you say or not, that's up to them. Whether they accept your advice or not, that's up to them. If they reject it totally, that's up to them. But once you talk to them, your heart becomes free and your conscience is clear.
All right. You're perceived in that region that you're talking about as being primarily against the Luo nation because of your strong statements over time. Do you have a problem with the Luo community?
Far from it. I have nothing against the Luo community. I have nothing but admiration. I'm a great admirer of the Luo nation. And my history with the people from that nation is very colorful. I am a student of political science. And the people who have made me who I am, the professors and doctors who took care of my politics at the University of Nairobi, are from the Luo nation. The late Dr. Nyangira took me through basic concept in political science. The late Dr. Katete Orwa was my mentor at the University of Nairobi. Professor Wanyande was a great lecturer. And today I owe to them for my politics because I know a lot. In my employment life, I was mentored by two great public servants, three public servants from the Luo nation. Samuel Eric Oreta was a district commissioner for Kiambu, a great man from Kedube. When I reported to Kiambu as a young district officer, 25 years, he took me through how to be a good administrator. And I'm a good administrator through the hands of Samuel Eric Oreta. I went through Peter Aburu, who was my district commissioner in Kakamega. Later on, he became provincial commissioner in Nyeri. He took me through mentorship. The late Hezekiah Oyugi, Kalam Maduong, that great administrator, I worked under him. I have good relationship with the Luo community. And I must tell you, I trust the professionals from that community, like many of us do. My district commissioner. All these rich people you see here in Nairobi, all these very educated people, they are doctors. Became provincial commissioner. Are from the Luo community. He took me through. Professor Ogutu is a great doctor. The late Hezekiah Oyugi, and I had challenges with my stomach for many years. And had to sit. I worked under him until someone recommended that I see Professor. Good relationship with the Luo community, and the matter was settled. If I go to Nairobi Hospital, and Professor Ogutu is the professionals from that community, I go away unless it's an emergency until I see him. Our architects, the people, the men who designed this house, Architect Touma, a great architect, he designed this house for me 30 years ago. And even when I have to do my interior in Nyeri, wherever I am in my family hotels, the professionals from the Luo community are great people. A structural engineer Ogutu, he has done all my structural work. I have many artisans who work for me. You know, I have a very great respect for the Luo professionals because they are really professional and they are very proud of their work. They are people you actually cannot avoid if you are serious Kenyan. So anybody saying that I have a problem with the community, far from it, I have nothing against the community. We have had problems politically. And when people have a problem with the community, far from it, I have nothing. Odinga was an opponent of Mwai Kibaki. I was from Mwai Kibaki. So ordinarily, there was a contest between my community and the Luo community.
Labda nikigusia kidogo tukisonga nyuma kidogo,
and I requested this interview because this is an important medium of communication to the Luo nation. And these stations, I want to say they are not tribal. They are very good stations because all communities have their unique ways and they have their language. And communication, as far as I'm concerned, is not what you say, but what is understood. People understand.
Maeneo ya Bomet County, labda tusikize vile ulivyozungumza kwa hiyo hadhara.
Rais alipitishwa na kura ya mlima na ya Wakalenjin. Sasa nikamuuliza rais, kama tumesahau hii Wakalenjin walikuvumilia mwaka 5, wewe unachukua kila kitu unapeleka Nyanza, kutembelea watu.
What do you think?
It's up to you.
You just, I told you, I'm not the one who made the statement.
I have nothing to say about it. I've said it's a true description.
Hayo matamshi ambayo yanaonekana kuidhalilisha jamii ya Kijaluo.
Hapana, mimi sijaongea vibaya. Nimesema rais mlimpigia kura, yeye akuje hapa, anaenda Nyanza. Tungetaka aende Nyanza na pia akuje hapa. Sio ati aende Nyanza peke yake. Hata mlimani siku hizi hakuji, hata pahali ingine haendi. Mimi nilisema tulipigia huyu rais kura hapa Kericho. Nimemuona ameenda Nyanza the whole of Christmas. Hajakuja hapa. Sijasema asiende Nyanza, nimesema akitoka Nyanza akuja nyumbani. kwa sababu hii Kenya ni yetu sisi zote. Huwezi kaa sehemu moja usahau wale ambaye pia walikupigia kura. So matamshi yangu nilikuwa naambia watu ya Kericho, mimi sirithiki ya kwamba rais sio ati hatembei. Kama angekuwa ofisi na hakuna pahali anatembea, inge